It's Camp NaNo time. Hello, I'm Liselle Sambury. I am a author, traditionally, soon to be traditionally published author. I used to say YA author, but now I'm working on an adult, so I don't want to say YA and adult author, so I'll just say author from now on. But then it gives me an extra pause and I'm like, what else do I say in the span of that time? Anyhow, it is the start of Camp NaNo, which I'm participating in for the first time, I think. I almost always skip camp, summer, Camp NaNo. I know they ever do NaNoWriMo in November, but this year, just because of the way my book contracts are, I'm not sure that I'll have time to do November NaNo or if I'll be revising or something. But also this adult horror / thriller that I'm working on, I'm trying to see if I can get it on submission this year, which is a wild goal, but I'm trying for it, and that means I need to write it as soon as possible. So April camp is a perfect opportunity to get that done. You can check out my video. I did a video here. I did a vlog of my NaNoWriMo prep, and in the beginning of that video, I talk all about my nano project. So if you want to learn more about what I'm doing for Camp NaNo, you can look at that. But to do a short form for you, it's an adult horror thriller that is One by One by Ruth Ware meets Jordan Peele's Us. That's basically it. And so yes, first day of camp, yesterday I had a shower brainwave. I got all my good ideas in the shower. I don't know why, that's just the spot. The shower is the spot for ideas. And I had a really good idea, one for the title, and I can tell you because it's a title that works very well specifically for the book, but if someone jacked it, I wouldn't be sad. It's just it's not that sort of title. So I'm gonna call it 6 Days and 5 Nights. Which, yeah, I think that's a good, to me, it feels like an adult horror / thriller title. It just feels like one of those titles. But again, in traditional publishing, who knows, if I sold the book, they might hate it. It'd be like, nope, not that. So it doesn't even really matter, but that's the title I came up with now. And so that gave me a good structure idea, because I can kind of do my structure around that. And it's basically called that because they go somewhere for 6 days and 5 nights. So now what I have to do today, so today, of course, I want to start writing. Kevin and Laura do their Thirsty Thursday live stream, and so they're doing one tonight. So that's where I'm going to do my actual writing. But today, well, it's not the morning now, it's 11. But what I want to do before I get to that evening writing sprint is I want to fix up my structure, because I thought of that title and I had that brainwave for a way to play with the structure and add more urgency and that sort of thing. Because now I have a timeline, so I have to go in and look at my outline to make sure it's gonna fit within that structure, or find a way to fit it within that structure, because now I have a timeline. So I need to stick to it more rigidly than I was sticking to it before. So that's what I want to do during the day today. I also started reading Rule of Wolves, which is the sequel and final book in the King of Scars duology. It's also supposed to be the final Grishaverse book. Grishaverse being Lee Bardugo's creation. And so I started reading that yesterday, finally. It took me so long to finally get time to sit down and read. And so I'm 25% into that, and I want to read another 25% today so I can finish it in 4 days. So I would like to do some reading during the day instead of having to do all my reading at night. So yeah, that's also something I'd like to do today. But yeah, Camp NaNo, I'm excited, sort of anxious, because I haven't I thought I hadn't drafted something since I drafted Butcher Birds, which is incorrect. I drafted the Blood Like Magic sequel last year, so I haven't drafted anything since that. I tried to draft a NaNo and I failed, so I mean something I've drafted and actually completed. And so that's what, that's what I'm hoping this April will be. I have like a lot of belief in this project, so I'm hoping that everything pans out. Hello. I realized I didn't talk about my word count goal. So originally my word count goal was going to be 60,000 words for the month. I have now changed it to 50,000 words. And I've changed it to 50,000 words because I'm very, very concerned about overwriting. I do not want this book under any circumstances to be longer than 75,000 words. I refuse. And so I just knowing myself, I was worried that if I wrote it for 60,000, that I would like do my first self-edit and it would already be at 70,000 words. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to draft it for 50,000 words. And then when I do my first self-edit, I will probably inevitably add 10,000 words. And then it'll be at 60,000. And then after I do my beta and agent edits, then I can possibly get it to 75,000 or just like 70,000 in case of editor edits. Anyways, so that's my goal. I'm changing it to make sure that I won't overwrite, essentially, because I have no control over myself. And so now I have a goal of 1,666 words per day, which is like very doable for me. The 2,000 even was doable, but like I cannot enable myself. I cannot. And so each chapter needs to be 1,500 words maximum. I can go a tiny bit over, but not very much. I need to stick to my guns. I need to stick to them. This must be underwritten. So that's what I wanted to say.
Melody, I just need to find my way. So when I fall behind, just give me one more day to regret the word I could never say. I'm drowning with the past, ocean of yesterday.
Hello and welcome to a potentially lengthy update. So I realized that I did my first clip on Thursday and then I updated on Friday, and I was like, now it's Saturday, and I was like, oh, Sunday is like the last day of this vlog, which is tomorrow, because it's a shorter week that it was starting with, but I am doing these weekly, so like at the end of the week it's the end of the vlog. So this first vlog is gonna be shorter. And I was like, oh, I should probably update with what I've done so far. So on Thursday, Kevin and Laura had their live stream and I went to that and I got my writing done. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet. Yeah, I think I have, but I changed my goal to 50,000 words. So I got my daily word count done. It's like extremely, extremely doable for me. Sorry, I'm like, what I'm wearing under this cardigan is like too boob-ish. There's too much boobs. So that's why I'm like doing this. Anyway, so I did their live stream and I got my word count done. I'm basically doing like a chapter a day. So that's kind of how that's worked out. I wasn't able to stay for their whole live stream because there was a debut chat. So the 20 Wonders, which is the 2021 Kidlit debut group, every month they do a Zoom call to basically for us to like chat about stuff we're doing and be like, what are you doing? And like, what did your publisher do about this? And like, what should I do about this? And like, you just like ask advice and stuff. And now, because there's people that have already debuted, they're in the chat as well to like help you out. So I had to leave the live stream early so that I could jump into that because I had some questions, because I now have a marketing meeting with my Canadian team. And so I wanted to ask questions about like, what should I be asking? Because right now, and this is a little debut update for you. So right now, where was I going with this? Oh, I got my US marketing plan. So I got my marketing plan. I don't know if it's like my US marketing plan or it's just my marketing plan in general. But anyway, I got the marketing plan. Me and my agent, like, we asked for a bunch of things. So there were things that I had asked for if my publisher could do, and they've been really awesome about it. They've like basically agreed to do like everything that I had asked for, which is really good because I wasn't even going to ask for it because I assumed it was stuff that was like just for leads. And then I talked to another author who's like further down the line, a more senior author, if you will, and they were like, these are the things you should ask for. And so I asked for them, and so got a bunch of them. And so I have a marketing meeting with my Canadian team. With my US team, I won't have a marketing meeting. It's very like, there are different ways that like different teams in different places work. And there's also like, I've become very realistic about there are certain things that like will happen for lead titles that won't necessarily happen for other titles, and that's just the way that things are broken down. And I think like in the moment it can be a little disappointing to be like, you're not going to get this because this is just for leads and you're not a lead, but it's realistic, right? Like that's how marketing and publishing works. There are different tiers and you get different things depending on your tier, and some things are just only for one tier. So that's, but it's been like a really positive process because they have done a lot of the things that I've asked, and that's really reiterated for me, like ask your publisher for everything you want and see what they can do for you, because you'll never know what they could have done for you if you don't ask. And there are some things that I would just like never ask for. Like I would never be like, hey, can we like put up a billboard of the book in Times Square? Like I would never ask for that. But like I'm asking for other things that I guess I won't say because I don't know if I'm allowed to say them. Yeah, so I don't have a marketing meeting with my US team, but I do have a marketing meeting with my Canadian team. And so I wanted to ask them like, what sort of things should I ask? Because I wasn't really sure, because I've already gotten the marketing plan, and in that marketing plan was already a bunch of things that I had asked for. But I'm sure like the Canadian team has stuff they want to like talk to me about, so they'll run it, I'm pretty sure. But I did get some helpful feedback from people in the group about like, about like if there's events that I want to be in, to kind of ask them about that. And then, you know, yeah, basically. So there are a couple like Canadian panel things that I was like, well, I'll ask about that. So I have a semi plan for that, and that's not happening for a while, for another couple weeks. So it's down the line. But anyway, so that's why I had to, this is the likely story of that's why I had to leave the live stream early. And so that was Thursday, which was day one. And then yesterday, I just like did my writing. I went to watch the rest of Kevin and Laura's live stream. So I had left like when like the last sprint was starting. So I went to the beginning of the last sprint and I did that sprint, and then I like listened to them talk. And then after they were done talking, the live stream is over. Then I just did another sprint by myself to finish off the words, so that was good. And then this morning I basically like woke up at like 9:30ish, and then I just like sat down. I was like, I'm just gonna bang this out now because then I'll be done for the day. So then I just went and I did that. Yeah, so I'm up to like 5,000-ish words. I'll have flashed it somewhere on the screen for you. So like a 10th of the way done already, which is kind of wild, but yeah, things are going well. This is like a very doable word count for me. I don't want to say like it's like easy, but it's very lax to me. Like I know that I can sit down and in like roughly like half an hour, I can get 1,600 words done. And so I don't feel like stressed about having to write because I know it's not that long. And I finish a chapter every time because each chapter is 1,500 words. And then I have these little like social media in between. So I'll write a chapter and then I'll hop around to whatever social media in between, and I'll finish off the rest of my daily word count just doing that. And that way I don't have to start a new chapter and like not finish it, which has been a really good system. I don't usually jump around with chapters, but because the social media stuff is such like inserts that they don't feel separate from the story, but I just like, I don't need to be doing it chronologically. Like it's very easy to just jump around and do it. So that's been a really good system. And because I have exactly 30 chapters, I am just doing one chapter per day. And the social media chapters are extra in betweens. So those are all the like extra chapters. So like by jumping around and working on those intermittently, like I should be able to like get everything all wrapped up. And I'm doing well. I'm sticking to my 1,500 words per chapter. The first chapter was 1,700 words, so I was a little bit over, but I've been doing pretty good at keeping with 1,500 words, which I'm very happy about because I'm trying very hard to underwrite. So yeah, this was a lengthy update, but it's a short vlog, so hopefully that's okay with you. Yeah, so I did that. Oh, I also, hold on. Sorry. I read fragments of Horror by Junji Ito. He's like a horror manga artist and writer, and I've been like buying up all of his stuff because I'm obsessed. You can see over there. That's the Junji Ito collection. And so I read this one because it was the shortest one and I knew I could read it in a day. And it was pretty good. There was one, they're just a collection of like horror manga short stories. One short story was like it felt ableist, but otherwise they were good. So yeah, I'm gonna continue on with that. I have 3 or 2 more volumes of Junji Ito manga coming to me. So if you like horror, I would highly recommend, but they are like kind of gruesome illustrations, so if you don't like that, then you probably won't like it, but I really love it. So that's it for this update.
Just give me one more day to regret the word I could never say. I'm drowning with the past, ocean of yesterday. You're obsessed with time, no clue what's at stake. In the final round of a lifelong game, so I step out of bounds. I don't want things to change.
First week of camp. It went really fast because it started on Thursday, so it wasn't even that many days. But yeah, it's the end of the first week of camp. I think it went really well. This daily word count of like 1,600-ish words is working really, really well for me. So I'm excited because I just feel like 100% I can do it, and the writing has been like really like just flowing and simple. I haven't like struggled. I know that I have to fix it. Like I haven't done very well at like pooling on the dread in the book. It's kind of just like, and then she said this and this said this, and like I'm just like getting everything out. So when I do my self-edit, I can finesse that. But yeah, so that was really good. And I'm just really excited about that. So that's really good. And I'm right up to the debate. So if you follow Save the Cat Beats, I'm up to the debate right now. So I have 2 more chapters to go before I'm done with the first act entirely, which is very exciting. Because it's just like, it's trucking along. It's happening so fast, it seems like. I've seen some people come up with like some really huge word counts like already, which is wild. I'm very like slow and steady. I'm just doing my minimum and only my minimum. Not really going over very often, because I'm trying to make sure that I don't burn out, that I like have lots of like free time. And the writing actually takes like up so little of my day, like it's less than an hour for me to get my word count out, so that's really exciting. And yeah, I just feel really good about the story. I feel like it's going in the right direction. I feel like I'm getting across the personal emotions pretty well, and I'm excited about that. So yeah, Camp NaNo is going good. I have not finished Rule of Wolves. I want to try and finish it during the day today, because I want to start House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. This is one of those books that was on my radar, because it's kind of like, they're not calling it a horror. I think they're like more pitching it as like a supernatural thriller sort of thing. But like anything that like whiffs of horror that's coming up this year, I'm trying to read. And this one has gotten like a ton of buzz I've seen on social media, and like Penguin Random House has been pushing it really, really hard. I know the author has another book before this called These Chemical Hearts, but I never read it. I think it's contemporary, and that's probably why. But I'm really excited to read this one, and I really want to get to it. So I'm hoping if I finish Rule of Wolves during the day today, then I can start reading this at night. And I'm wanting to try and like in my vlogs update you a bit more on like stuff I'm reading, just because I think it's fun. I won't do reviews or anything, because most of this is like young adult, and it's like a weird thing of like reviewing your peers. But I'll definitely tell you like things I liked about the books and things like that, because I always find something I DNF'd a book like in February that I like couldn't even think of anything good to say about it. I just like despised it. But usually I have something good to say about the book. I can at least speak to something I liked about it. So I'm hoping to do that a bit more, because I read a lot more right now. Once I finish Rule of Wolves, I'll be at 40 books for the year, which is wild for me. I do not read that much. The most books I've read in a year is 50, and I'm shooting for 100 this year, so I'm like actually doing quite well. But yeah, that's it for the first week of Camp NaNo. How did your Camp NaNo go? Feel free to share in the comments how things are going for you if you're participating, how just writing in general is going for you if you're not participating. And I'll see you in the next week. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. See you next week. Bye.